Hey everybody, it's your boy labbearome, the disabled fragrance guy, and I'm back for another review. Do me a favor if you haven't done so already, please go down below, like and subscribe to the channel. While you're down there, please hit that notification bell so you'll be notified about every time I drop a video to YouTube. I want to thank you for rocking with me. Let's continue the journey this week with a fragrance that I am truly excited about, y'all. You know that my channel is primarily dedicated to propping up young, independent, niche perfumers that, need to be exposed, need to be brought to the forefront, and that's what I have for you today. So I was on Instagram, or I am on Instagram, and someone reached out to me and asked me if he could send a sample of his fragrance to me. I said, of course, obviously, always want to test out new things. So today's review is going to be on Zernelle Gillie fragrances and Disco. Now, like I said earlier, Zernelle Gillie did reach out to me on Instagram and asked if he could send a sample of his fragrance to me, and I said, of course, obviously. I obviously want to expose myself to as many fragrances that I can. So I am honored that he reached out to me. Thank you, Zernelle. I appreciate you. As you guys know, all opinions are my own. I do not give a favorable review just because I get something in the mail. I would never do that. That is my promise to you. You can choose to believe that or not, but that is my promise to you. I will not give a favorable review just because I get a gift. So the notes in the fragrance, we have bergamot, lavender, jasmine, grapefruit, saffron, cardamom, tea, tobacco, amber, cedar, and myrrh, patchouli, and vanilla bean. Now, Zernelle has a little bit of an interesting story. He was born and raised in Chicago, one of my favorite places to visit. I actually grew up 60 miles north of Chicago in Kenosha, Wisconsin, but I traveled down to Chicago a lot when I was a child and in my junior high and high school years, so I'm uniquely familiar with Chicago. He was born and raised in Chicago, but grew up in a rough part of town. The south side of Chicago is notoriously rough, and that's where he was brought up. And music kept him sane. That's his first love. Music is his first love. That kept him safe, that kept him sane. And then he launched a record label. And if that wasn't enough, he launched a clothing line. And if that wasn't enough, he finally launched his fragrance line. So he's married his loves, music, clothing, and now fragrance, and he married them all together. And this is a hard-working man, let me tell you. He's got a great story. I am so happy and so proud that I can support Zernelle Gillie. All right, sizes and prices. He's got a 2 ml for $10. He's got a 10 milliliter travel size for $29, and he's got a 30 ml bottle, and that retails for $75 on their Zernelle Gillie website, which I will leave down in the description below. So now that we've got all that information out the way, how does it smell, you're asking me? Well, I will tell you right now. I have the sample that was provided for me. Again, thank you, Zernelle. I have it as my scent of the day. I will give a fresh spray on the hand. Very nice atomizer, even from the sample. And what jumps out at me first is the tea. It's got a very calming effect, tea effect right from jump. And I love that because these days, and I'm going back to the office now, I need something that will calm me down. But there's a bright citrus bergamot that follows. Tea and bergamot go hand in hand in my world. I love that combination. The grapefruit adds a tinge of bitterness, which is also very welcome and very sexy in a very good way. I love that combination as well. There is a woodsy cedar here, and it's like visiting the rare book room at the Newberry Library. Now, I've been to the Newberry Library in Chicago. It's a beautiful, beautiful spot. If you ever have the chance, if you're ever in the area, please go, please visit. It's like I'm in a rare book room surrounded by wood, the wooden shelves and the dusty books and, leather-bound chairs. It is truly an amazing visualization I'm getting here. There's also an aromatic myrrh, and this next part is going to sound like a backhanded compliment in a way, but it truly isn't, because it actually brings me back to a time that I've actually liked in my life. The aromatic myrrh honestly reminds me of the hallways of Children's Memorial Hospital. Now, Children's Memorial Hospital is the hospital I went to from birth until age 18, where I was seen by a myriad of doctors for my specific disability, which is spina bifida. And I'm being brought back to the memories of just walking through the hallways and seeing the doctors in their white coats and seeing the nurses and seeing, other children there, other patients there that I actually got along with and, had banana cart races with and, things like that and caused trouble with and mischief. And so it's bringing me back to a time in my life where I was more innocent. Not that I'm not innocent now, I am, but I was more innocent and I was just having fun amidst, a sort of kind of stressful time in my life. I grew up, having to go to the doctor every 3 to 6 months, had a number of operations, but this smell that's bringing me back to, the hospital I grew up in basically is a welcome memory for me, and I absolutely appreciate Zernelle for bringing me back to this moment in time. The tobacco and the myrrh are now marrying together so very well, and it's bringing me back to another memory of my days at Children's Memorial Hospital, and that's my doctor who, allowed me the life I live right now. He operated on me. He had confidence that I could, go out in life after, all the stress and trauma of being operated on and live a full and healthy and vibrant life. And I certainly do that. But he also smoked this very, very just wonderful pipe. And this was in the 80s. You could smoke in hospitals in the 80s. You could smoke around patients in the 80s. It was a time where they just didn't care. But he would walk around the hallways smoking this tobacco pipe. And the tobacco and the myrrh now are marrying together so well. And it's bringing me back to being in the room. He's outside, my doctor's outside, dictating his notes while smoking his pipe, and the pipe is wafting into the room. Now, like I said, this was in the 80s. We didn't really care about much in the 80s. We didn't have, seatbelt laws and all that stuff. No, that's crazy talk. But I am being brought back to this wonderful time where I just remember this very beautiful smell of pipe tobacco, and just the memory of that brings me back to a time and a person who has been integral in my life to get me to where I am now so that I can share this with you. And I absolutely, absolutely appreciate the memory. Now, Disco is a unisex fragrance. I can see wearing this in the dead of winter. The winters don't get too cold in the DC area, but in the Chicago area, they get really cold. I can actually see this standing up to a Chicago winter. So I could see wearing it then. I could also see wearing it in the hot summer. The bergamot and the grapefruit and the tea make it so that I believe it wouldn't be too overbearing in the summer. And I look forward to wearing this summer. I do have a sample here now, but I guarantee you, I'm probably gonna do a part 2 of this review on Disco with a full bottle. I believe in this fragrance. This fragrance has elicited memories in me. This fragrance has brought me back to a time where, I was a happy-go-lucky kid. And how could I not? How could I not? If it's bringing me back to those times, how could I not support the company, support Zernelle in the purchase of a fragrance? So I am actually going to buy a full bottle, 30 ml bottle of Disco. I believe in this fragrance. I absolutely, absolutely want you to get your noses on it. Go to his website. It'll be linked down below in the description, and get you a sample and try it out. If you like it as much as I do, bless the company with a full bottle purchase, please. Please, I'm asking. It performs wonderfully on my skin. I get 7.5 hours consistently on my skin just from the sample. I get 7.5 hours on my skin, so the performance is actually very, very good on my skin. Y'all, This is a standout fragrance. I cannot say enough about Disco. I am getting a full bottle in about a week's time. I will take pictures. I will post it to my Instagram so that you know that I am not just pulling your leg here. I am gonna bless the company with a full bottle purchase. I think you should too. That's my time. Go down below, like and subscribe, and I'll check you next time.